The word commotions in Luke chapter 21 verse 9 is number 181 in the Strong's Concordance and means instability, i.e. disorder. And in the context of Luke 21 as well as Mark 13 and Matthew 24, Jesus is giving us the events that lead up to his return, so then it's common sense these would be global events that are unprecedented. For example, when ye shall hear of wars, we can take that to mean the world wars that are also covered in Daniel chapter 11. That ended in 1945 when the United Nations came into being, after which the Cold War began, which covers the rumors of wars written of in Mark 13 and Matthew 24. The commotions, which means instability, and in the context of the chapter, on a global level. What's called the bipolar era being from the beginning of the Cold War to 1991, when the unipolar era began, with the United States becoming the only so-called superpower through the United Nations system, which is the great horn of the he-goat, in my opinion. Nation shall rise against nation in verse 10 of Luke 21, meaning the he-goat nation rising against the he-goat nation, causing the United Nations to be broken, so to speak, whereby the new world order can emerge at the woe of the fifth trumpet. So at this time, there are two types of globalists with Kenites in leadership roles on either side, the unipolar as opposed to the multipolar, which is why you just saw the World Health Organization get defunded, as well as all the other steps towards dismantling the United Nations over the past several years, which is also talked about on the last page of the Grand Chessboard. And again, the United Nations is the great horn of the he-goat, in my opinion. So again, when you shall hear of wars means the world wars that ended in 1945 when the United Nations came into being and the bipolar era began with the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, after which the unipolar era began when the Soviet Union fell in 1991. That's all rumors of wars or commotions, which just means instability or disorder geopolitically, with nation rising against nation, meaning the two warring factions of unipolar and multipolar globalists within the shadow government of the Kenites, which is what the he-goat symbolizes up until the great horn of the he-goat is broken when he was strong, which would be after the Cold War ended and the unipolar era began, with the nation rising against nation part not really beginning until the last several years. Again, the he-goat nation rising up against the he-goat nation to break the great horn. And once the great horn is broken, which is the same thing as the one who sends a raiser of taxes being destroyed neither in anger nor in battle because it's a self-inflicted break, that's when the four notable ones, which are the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7, rise up together in a one-world political system at the same time, at the woe of the fifth trumpet. That's the so-called New World Order, having 7 heads, which are the 7 continents of the planet Earth, and 10 horns, which are 10 fallen angel kings that are part of Daniel's fourth beast, which is exclusively supernatural. Then, after the deadly wound to the one-world political system, which is what kingdom against kingdom means in Luke 21 verse 10, Satan appears as Antichrist in Jerusalem at 666, the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, with the true Christ not returning until immediately after the 5-month-long hour of temptation at the 7th trumpet, which again is what the subject of Luke 21, Mark 13, and Matthew 24 is, the return of the true Christ. So look for unprecedented global events in order to understand what's happening in the world today geopolitically, as far as the 4 hidden dynasties are concerned, and the build-up to the 5-month-long hour of temptation.